Times in the social institutions of society where we do have an unequal distribution of power. It is designed to benefit everybody. When it isn't designed to benefit everybody, it's counterintuitive to what's required so that we all have the capacity to achieve our highest level of fulfillment. But there are times we need an unequal distribution. It doesn't mean you have no power like it did in the days of the divine right of kings. It just means it's being distributed differently in different levels. I always taught my kids, I remember my daughter when she was 16, she says, she's going out, she says, what time do I have to be home? And I said, well, you know, you're regular 11:30. Don't be late after 12. She says, why can't I stay out later? And I said, my job is to help you regulate your life. When you were born, you couldn't do anything for yourself. And my life was to take care of you, to give you care, right? Caretaking versus caregiving. But as you grow older, my job is to be a caregiver, to teach you how to manage your own life. And I said, as soon as you get that, you can have all the power you want. I want you to regulate your life, but I don't want you to hurt yourself either. So that's why you go through driving school. That's why you go through all these different levels of performance, so we know you're capable of self-regulation. And once you're capable of self-regulation, run for it. That's what access to power is about. We're born powerless people. And along the way, in a social situation, we want power, and power is given to us. If we misuse power, what happens? Self-destruction, chaos. But as we learn to regulate ourselves in a power world, you become more powerful. That's what the third wave's about, giving access to power. Be able to regulate yourself. Being able to manage power in a way that benefits not only you, self-interest, but benefits those you come in contact with. Professor Poller, I ran out of time. I didn't have time to take my quiz. Could you maybe open it up for me? Now, if I give you the right to open it up, doesn't it give you power? In a sense. I think it does. Sure, I'll share my power with you. I'm the one who controls open and closing. Sure, I'll share it. Well, I'll open it for you. Go ahead. That's cool. Anybody ask me yet? No? Oh, it's coming. If, as many feminists have noted, a crucial fact about human selves is that they're always embedded in a vast web of relationships, then the forces at play within those relationships must be understood. It's knowing how people are situated with respect to these forces, what they're going through as they're subjected to them, and what life is like in the face of them that lets us decide which of the forces are morally justified. How well we can share and distribute power. And finally, morality in politics. Women have always been said, stay out of politics. Feminism is to be separate. No, it isn't, because you don't live in worlds of separateness. We live in worlds that are integrated together, and we can't separate them out. And if you have a political agenda, you ought to be honest and transparent about it. Just like if you have a feminist agenda, or if you have this agenda or that agenda, be transparent about it. And then when we know what everybody's cards are, we can decide how the game's going to be played. And we can try and distribute power, access, equality in that regard to the greatest number, so the most number of people can be happy. But if we don't lay the cards on the table, we don't have that option. There's always a hidden agenda somewhere. And so the third wave says, don't hide your agenda, bring it out in the open. Don't separate yourself from your agenda, from your life. If you want to be in politics, be a politician. If you want to be in academia, be a professor. If you want to be in the medical field, be what you can be. Why not? That doesn't change you. If you're a doctor, it doesn't mean you're a woman and then you're a doctor. You're a female doctor. How many of you women would like to have a female gynecologist? And I bet you men, on the other hand, would rather have a male one day do some of the... And some of us don't care. I don't care. Just make me feel better. I don't care. Any questions about Hildy Lindemann? And she's kind of the representative of, to be honest, when I first ran into her, I ran it by Professor Collins. I just wanted a little more feedback. I've been involved in this since the 60s, but you always want a little more, confirmation, a little more, making sure everything's on the same track. Don't want to lead people down the wrong road. So, on your quiz, gender is about social institutions. Women are not interested in the third wave about equality. They want equal access to power. If you're qualified, why shouldn't you at least be considered? Again, there's going to be situations where there's too many people who are qualified, and we'll get to that when we get to diversity at the end of the semester. Bless you. But at least now the doors should be open. Life, liberty, the capacity through self-interest to produce happiness in your life. Any questions about this at all? Okay, if you came in late, let me know you're here. Could you turn that off for me?